What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you guys my new design for the warp drive system. This is just a miniature version that's going to go, that I'm going to install on my truck. This is a more accurate representation of the device I'll be building. It'll be approximately 9 feet long, 9 to 10. I think I'm going to be around 9 feet long. That's the housing, and there'll be a 4-inch by 8-foot tube that runs down the center, and on each end will be a specially designed Tesla coil. The one in the rear on the right, that's more of a auto transformer, like a plasma flame circuit, and the one in the front on the left, that is a modified DRSSTC, a dual resonant solid state Tesla coil, but it's actually going to be a dual resonant solid state magnifying transmitter. I'm going to add an extra coil to it, so there will be a primary, a secondary, and an extra coil. And then obviously it'll have a top load, and then that top load will go to a high pressure sodium bulb element, like a 1,000 watt, and then a lead will go out and protrude out of the end of this plasma globe, a 10-inch plasma globe, or an 8-inch. I'm probably going to do an 8. And so when this thing is running, that plasma globe will be, lit up. That bulb will be lit up. And then here in the center, there's a 3.5-inch by 3 or 4 foot long. Can't remember the length. I think it's 4 foot. No, it's 3 foot. That's right. It's 3 foot by 3.5 inches. So it'll fit inside my 4-inch pipe, and I'll cut away a window for it. And there'll be an electrode on one end of it, and that'll be connected to an antenna, a small antenna. And the other end, we'll have an electrode, and there'll be a small antenna on it as well. And so this whole bulb, this 3-foot bulb, will be illuminated with blue plasma, and it'll have a white streamer that goes throughout the bulb and twists around the bulb and does all kinds of stuff. That streamer can actually be manipulated by the frequency and the phase and the potential difference and all that stuff. So it'll be a really cool effect. And on top, in the center of this part here, it would run in the center of the housing, which is not really a housing, it's more just of a chassis or whatever, like a wing. Like this is a side view, and that's the wing. And then the pipe runs down the center and it'll be braced off. So it'll sort of look like a wing going down the road. That'd be like a top view of it, a side view. It'd be sticking 90 degrees out from this angle, so it'll have a little bit of an angle to parallel to the ground. So, but yeah, this bulb up here is also a blue neon bulb, a blue neon, and so those will be all the lighting effects of this warp drive system, and it'll be really cool, especially because all the discharges coming out this end will be audio modulated, and it's going to sound awesome. I'll be able to play music through it and do all kinds of cool experiments with it, because we're experimenting to go to warp, and so these discharges are going to come out, and I'm also going to have a laser, a pulsed laser, that is going to guide those discharges wherever I want if I run it in that mode. And yeah, so that's basically the concept behind the warp drive system. Whether I'll ever build it or not is another question. You know, this system, in order to run it like I want to run it, and in order to build it like I want to build it, I mean, you're talking about $1,200 just in parts to actually build these things, and that's not even considering the circuitry that drives it, which is a couple $1,000 just to drive one of the engines. Add another $1,000, and $3,000 to run both engines simultaneously, which is the goal. And that's only for the front two Tesla coil systems. For the back two, the electronics that drive it, that's another $1,000 per engine, and that's going to be an extra $2,000 right there, just for the back. So we're already up to $6,000 in this system, and that's not even including the controller, which will control 1, 2, 3, 4, all four, because I'm going to be phasing this thing to where I'm rotating the magnetic field, the electromagnetic field, in whichever pattern I want. Go in a circle like this. I can go like this and like this. I can have these in phase and these in phase, and out of phase of each other. Or these two can be in phase while these two are out of phase. And you can play with that. I'll be able to play with that pattern in order to do some really cool experiments to figure out this system. So, and at the power level I'm wanting to drive this thing at is around 15 kilowatts. It's about 15 kilowatts total to it's actually probably more around 20, actually, because I know it's 5 kilowatts to run this one, and I know it's 5 kilowatts to run this one. There's 10 kilowatts, and these I believe are 3 to 5. I think they're 5 also. So a 5 and a 5. There's 20 kilowatts right there. So it's going to be a pretty powerful system. And then that's not even including the actual warp mode, where I go into overdrive on the system and I'll store up charges in capacitor banks for each level of warp. There has to be 9 different levels, 9 different pulses that are phase shifted in a special pattern, and those will be in the overdrive, the 9 levels of overdrive that this system can operate. If it normally operates at 240 volts, then my first warp mode will send a pulse at double that, at 480, and then each warp mode will double from there all the way up, and I'll just be pulsing this at a higher energy level for a super short amount of time. Just a pulse. So I'll store up and get my capacitor bank all charged up in all different levels before I engage warp. And that's the idea behind it. So you're probably looking at another $3,000 or $4,000 for the capacitor bank. So we're up to like $10,000-$11,000 just to build this thing the way I want to. And that's not even including the control panel that's ultimately going to sit right here and control everything and be able to monitor everything and control everything, the frequency, the phase, everything, and set patterns and initiate patterns, and all that stuff, fully controllable control panel. So yeah, probably 15 G's. 12 to 15, depending on how elaborate I go. Because I'm also going to film the entire process. So I'm going to want to install cameras all along the truck, like right up there, and they'll be a part of, documenting all this. I'll have exterior cameras and all that stuff, and we'll document all these experiments leading to warp. So that's the whole idea behind it, And then once I build it, then I'm going to take it out and demonstrate it, do public demonstrations, like maybe go to Vegas and go to a place out in the desert and attract a crowd there and demonstrate this thing, record it all, publicize it on YouTube, and just, I don't know, there's an idea. I got some ideas, some crazy, outlandish, wild ideas, to turn this into something big. So anyways, if you like this, then give it a like, and maybe leave me a comment if you got time. Tell me what you think about that. Anyways, peace, guys.